We are on. All right. All right. What's up, guys? Welcome to number three, the third episode of the Friday Special Podcast. Today, I got my boy Dylan, my boy MJ.
What up, what up?
MJ, you know what I'm saying? Gonna be chopping it up. You know, it's been a long time since I seen my man. We went to high school together, so yeah, it's gonna be a good conversation. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my man.
My name's Dylan Santana. Pleasure to meet everyone. Just a little bit about me. I grew up with Caleb since we were jits. Like back when middle school, back to doing things you shouldn't have been doing. Yep, back then. So we've been cool, been boys, been teammates ever since. So for me, what I do now, I'm a sales consultant for modern furniture design. So if you're looking for that good, let me know.
Yeah, my man. You can go ahead and take that, my brother.
All right, so it's a pleasure to meet y'all. My name is MJ, and this is my brother Dylan, and a great brother of mine also, Caleb. And I also work at Modern Furniture Designs. We're really changing the game when it comes to furniture and that luxury experience. I'm proud to say I'm a young black man that is striving for greatness. Turn my path around, and man, the sky's the limit. So I'm just thankful to be here. Appreciate you having me too, Caleb.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That right there is what we want to hear. Striving for greatness. That's what it's all about. Also, I will be linking the furniture store that they work at down below. If you ain't got no furniture, you need some, go get it. They'll hook you up for real. All right. So today is gonna be, like always, just pretty much free conversation. So we're gonna start off with a hard hitting question from my man right here. You know, who is Dylan Santana? If you had to explain that.
I say Dylan Santana is not just me. Dylan Santana is actually, you look at that name and you see this person, this man that I am. But when I look at Dylan Santana, I see my aunts, I see my mothers, I see all the older people that raised me, I see all the brothers that helped love me.
That's amazing.
So for me, Dylan Santana isn't just one single person. Dylan Santana is actually everybody that poured into him. Because I wouldn't have been who I am today if I didn't have people like y'all or those older around me to help me become who I am today.
Man, starting out strong. We starting out real strong. It's funny that he says that because so my last name is Friday, right? Every day I get up, I strive to make that name mean something, because I've had a lot of men in my life that have poured into me, a lot of people in my life that have poured into me and created, what you see before you, We're all a product of our environment, but at the same time, we all write our own story. So make sure you keep that in mind, Make your name really mean something. From there, we're going to ask my man right here, MJ, the same question. So.
Appreciate it. It's an overwhelming question to ask because, like he said, you got so many people that's poured into you. But I would say Michael Jaden Thompson. Most people know me as MJ, but Michael Jaden Thompson. It carries its own weight because when God made me, I tried to figure out my purpose on why I was put here, and I would ask certain ones in my family that I really love and was close to. I was like, if you was my age, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? But God purposely made me the complete opposite and in my own unique way. So he really put it on me to figure out my own purpose in this way of life. So I would say Michael Jaden Thompson is nothing less than a creation from God. And as I go through this journey, I will continue to figure out why I was put here. So, that's me.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Man.
Oh yeah, God first.
God first. God
Always.
first.
God first.
God number one.
God first.
All right. Now that we got that out the way, how y'all been?
Oh man.
How you
Grinding,
been,
man. What about us? What about you, man?
Man,
Come on with the show. Got a show. This man got a show now.
Man.
Like, come on, Mr. Hollywood.
Man, I've been good. I've been all over the world this year. I was in Scotland and then I was in Poland for 7 months. So definitely got to open my eyes a lot. Like I want so bad to like take everybody at home and like take them over there so bad, cause it's like, man, it's just such a different experience. Like when I got to when I flew out and I got to Scotland, you know, they drive on the other side of the road over there, you know. So that was the first thing that really blew my mind. Plus, you know, these dudes with these strong Scotland accents, you know, it just
Right, it's all different.
Yeah, it blew my mind. I was like, bruh, like I'm in Scotland. You know, it made me think because, you know, I grew up here at Gastonia, aka the Gas House. Like, you know what I'm saying? I grew up here and I always dreamed of going overseas. I always dreamed of like going abroad anywhere, and I was always like, man, like I want to do that. And I told myself I would, but deep down in myself there was a part of me that didn't. I didn't think that it would happen, and I didn't know when it would happen or how it would happen. But when it was coming time for me to go, because it was a deployment, like I fought it so hard. Like anybody that knows me at my unit, they can tell you, like if anybody didn't want to go, it was me. Like I did not want to go so bad. Like I was like, bruh, like I just don't want to do this. Like I want to stay here. Like I didn't realize it then, but it was because that was where I was comfortable. Like I was comfortable, you know, in Colorado. I was comfortable in my room. I was comfortable in my routine, you know, that I was repeating every day, which really wasn't a routine. It was just me just doing whatever I felt like whenever I felt like it. I didn't want to go over there. I didn't want to go over there even when I was on the plane. It wasn't until I got there and I began to walk the streets and all these people, you know, people ask me where I'm from and stuff like that. And I'm telling them like, yeah, I'm from America. It blew my mind just saying that. Because they asked me where I'm from, you know, no, I don't want to be like, yeah, North Carolina. But they don't even know what that is. It's like, yeah, I'm from the States, from America. So that really expanded my mind. Like, there's really something, like, man, the world is so much bigger than the Gas House. Like, it's so much bigger than Gastonia. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, but we were in foods class. And I forgot the teacher's name, but I remember I was having a conversation with you, and we were talking about getting out of Gastonia. And I remember I said to you that we were both talking about getting out of Gastonia and saying how there's life outside of that. But I remember saying to you how Gastonia is not just a place, it's a mindset.
Bro, I do remember that.
That is so crazy. And just saying, I remember
That's crazy.
it's so crazy thinking about that like now. But yeah, like, but honestly, enough. What about you? This man done started modeling. He done started all type of stuff. I be seeing him do his thing. Like what's up with you?
Really, man, just been on the same journey the next man is. For me, once I graduated, you know, I was dealing with the problems with the law. You know, I caught a charge in high school. Don't do dumb shit because you get dumb prizes. You know, that's my first message for the youth that's watching. And so, you know, I had to deal with the law. And It's crazy because, you know, when you watching everybody that you went to school, you're so close with, and everybody's moving forward, you feel like you're going backwards.
Oh.
Because check me, because you also have to go through probation. I had a year probation. I had to pay fines every month, court fees. I had to do community service all within a year. If not, I was facing 10 to 20 years of my life because of that stupid prank. A prank. The only one you really joking is yourself. So please think about it before you do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's with anything. Drinking and driving. That's with doing something you know that your parents or somebody that is somebody that you respect and that takes care or loves you, that they don't approve it, don't do it. So everybody's going on these trips, right? Everybody's moving forward. I see people going to college, people joining the army, like going to doing stuff, and I'm stuck back at home, feeling like the same dude that had so much grind and charisma said he was gonna do so much. I didn't move any far at all. But in my mind, I wasn't moving. But in reality, what God was doing, He was pulling the bow back so the air can go further.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and that's what I learned in that season of my life, because God, what He does is He allows you to go through seasons because each season has a reason. Right?
Each season has a
reason.
reason.
Right.
Come on now.
And I went through that season. You know, I was in that relationship at one point.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot about being an immature man and not being ready. And that's just me being as mature of a man to understand that. You know, I moved in right after graduation. I'm already dealing with all this bull crap from the law. Impatience can sting, but it also brings great lessons. So long story short, I get through that. That didn't work out. I overcame that law issue. And once I got off the probation and they dismissed it, it was como like, it was like they let a lion off a leash and then you just let him go run wild. And ever since then, like in 2021, I had got off probation around October. I vowed to myself to not let any opportunity go to waste. And even then, bro, like it was hard. Like I was trying to go to real estate school. I was struggling. I was pushing wheelchairs at the airport, learning so many lessons, learning so many things about life, but really just ultimately feeling like I'm just at the bottom of who I know God has for me to be. And then, you know, in 2021, man, I had a failed suicide. You know, my mother, she had a gun in her room, in her safe. And I remember I was going through it. I was struggling. I kept failing my real estate exam so many times to where my family was like, you know, is this what you want to do? And I'm like, what you mean? Come on, if you know, if y'all know me, like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. There ain't no quite second guessing it. And he going to make it happen. But for that doubt to be there from the people that you are doing it for, man, that's really what it hurt. And, you know, me feeling like a failure, I had grabbed my mom's gun at the time and I had put it to my dome. And I remember feeling that cold chamber. And all I could think at that moment was just, I tried. And when I went to go press the trigger, bro, there was no magazine in it.
Thank God.
Thank God, right? And my mom, she happened to be cleaning her gun that week. And all the other times, she always had it in there, but it wasn't in there. So from there on forward, I dedicated my life to God, bro, and making sure that He is number one in everything I do. And my energy, and how I walk and how I treat people, you know, it's you can't see me without seeing God, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here for Him. So after that, 2021, boom, I wrote a book, you know, The Art of Faith and Determination. Got a book out there. I always wanted to do that, write a book.
Link for the book will be in the bio, by the way.
The Art of Faith and Determination.
Great book. Real great.
And I gotta grab you one. You got one on me. And from there, I just got into modeling. And it's crazy that you talked about that comfort thing, bro.
Yeah.
Because us as human beings, we try to grow so much without having as much pain with the growth. But in reality, in order for you to grow, you got to have your skin peeled for you to become a new person. So God always put different opportunities in my way
Yeah.
that I wasn't used to, like modeling. Got a modeling opportunity from somebody I met at the airport. Then that modeling opportunity allowed me to gain confidence in myself from being that small, skinny, 4-eye glasses kid in school
Yeah.
to being, somebody who's just confident in themselves, so confident enough to remind others that there's confidence with themselves as well. Because that's what it's about. It ain't about you.
Yeah.
And I've always learned that in my life. I always had nieces and nephews, seeing my sisters get abused and domestic violence, and seeing all my family go through all this stuff. I always learned, like, all right, man, it ain't about you. It never will be. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
when you're dead, can you go to your tombstone? Those that are here
Yeah.
are the ones that are going to go to there and be reminded of who you were and the representation and the impact that you left in this world. And it's like, from there on
So
out,
true.
man, I modeled. Then after I modeled, got my real estate license, finally passed. Once I got my real estate license, man, I actually found this opportunity with furniture. And I just let everything go ever since. It took a leap of faith and just been doing that, bro. I thank God for the opportunity. I thank God for, AFD, for our coach. If you're watching, God bless. Tiffany, Alex, the whole crew, AFD crew, Kelly. Yeah, I ever since then, I just been grinding, bro, trying to prove a point, not just also to myself, but to the world. A lot of people say that you don't have nothing to prove. Like, I
Yeah.
fucking hate that. Like, as a y'all feel that. Y'all young men, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you ain't got nothing to prove. You're good. Like, nah. I actually do. Cause, bro, I do my best to keep up with everybody, Caleb, bro. Everybody. Like, Des.
Yeah.
I try to hit up everyone just to try and be connected.
Yeah.
And it seems like everybody's going through the same thing, especially in our generation.
Yeah, we are. I actually just
Crazy,
you talking
bro.
about Dunlap?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just I just talked to him. Me and him communicate quite often now because of the content stuff. But we're all kind of in that place. Like earlier, you were talking about how you were watching everybody do this and do that. I definitely was in that same spot because um, though I joined, um, all I did was make a decision to move where I physically was. So now I'm in Georgia or I'm in Colorado, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at all these people that I went to high school with, including yourself, like, man, like he's doing this, she's doing that, and I'm just like, like, what am I doing? Like, I joined because I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do 4 years and then get some IT certs and then get out and then make my bread. I took IT fundamentals twice, failed both times. After I failed, I mean, I knew it while I was taking it, but after I failed, I realized, like, I hate IT. So I had joined because I was like, okay, I'm going to do IT so then I get a job. But then I was like, I hate IT. And then I went on this journey of trying to find, like, what am I going to do with myself? Like, I see this person's over here doing this person's over here doing that. And I'm just like, man, like, God, like, I ain't never been good at anything. Like, I was like, man, like, what is it? Like, what can I do? And then that's when I slowly got into, I was like, let me look at real estate. So I started looking at real estate. At first, I started looking at flipping houses. Um, got real excited about that. Then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do Airbnb. I was calling place after place after place. Like, I couldn't get anywhere to, like, accept, like, the Airbnb, like, for me to do Airbnb in, like, their spot. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm just like I want to be a realtor. So I was like, okay, then I started looking into that, but then I got deployed, and then all the while I've been doing college, but it's always felt like, man, I'm doing this because I don't. If I'm not doing this, I'm doing nothing. So even in that, I'm still trying to find my place, figure out where it is that I'm going. And while I was out there, that's when I met my boy Keem and my boy Ja. Shout out to y'all. I know y'all gonna watch this episode.
Shout out to Key John.
Yeah, Keem and Ja. I met them out there, and when we came back, they're super two very supportive individuals. Also, amazing God fearing men themselves. We all around the same age, and I had been talking about doing a podcast for years, but I was never gonna do it. It was just like one of those type things. Was like, oh man, it would be cool if we did it. But then I was like, well, what if I did? You know. And then I started playing around at work. I would walk into a room. I walked into a room, and then I set my phone down with some of my coworkers, some of my battles, and then I'm like, look, we about to record a podcast, and then y'all just be playing though. I just hit record on voice memos, and then I would just act like I'm a podcast host. I would just act like I'm doing it, you know. And then it was like, all right, well, like man, it's like, do I want to do? I low key want to do this like for real. So then one day I went back and my boy Keem was in his room and he was going through something, and I just asked him. I said, he was telling me about it. I was like, honestly, bro, like, you want to shoot a pod? You want to do an interview about it? And he was like, yeah, bro. So then that's when I just ran downstairs, got my stuff, and we just set up and just boom right there. And then after that, I was like, okay, I can do this. Like I want to do this. And despite where it's gonna go, because I don't know how big or small I can get from this. All I know is that this is what I want to do, along with other things. I'm also gonna branch out into public speaking. I want to do public speaking, schools, prisons, organizations, businesses, stuff like that. I want to branch out into that as well. But those people that were around me really encouraged me to take that leap into something that I know that I want to do within myself, and I know that could possibly take me somewhere. But in all essence of things, it's going outside the box, you know, because I feel like that's what we're all doing in a sense. You know, we're not working regular office jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like we're doing something that if we do it right in the long run, God bless, we could be millionaires. Like we will be millionaires.
Right.
Will be. So I feel like it's something that's real small, and I don't want to blow up too fast. Like I don't like whatsoever. I see a lot of people on the internet where they just go from 0 to 100. I don't want that. I have enough wisdom to know I'm not ready for that. Like I'm not at all like ready for, you know, millions of people to be watching my videos. I don't even have my own operating system like set up yet. Like it was a struggle to get that first video out. It was less of a struggle to get the second video out. And this video is the first one where I know exactly what I'm going to do after I get done recording. But yeah, I just wanted to really touch on the fact that like you said, like you didn't know, or you was looking at other people and you like, man, like I'm trying to keep up with them, because I definitely feel that. Like this is 2023. We graduated in 2019. Around this time, it's been 4 years. Everybody that we went to school with is getting degrees. Everybody we went to school with graduated. And you see them graduation pictures. And it's like, man, like I just started. So yeah, I definitely want to encourage anybody who's also going through that, like for real.
And that's a common thing, you know, with a lot of young folk. It's a common thing.
Yeah, most definitely.
How you feel about that?
Appreciate y'all. So, I mean, we could talk on this all
For
day.
weeks.
Like, this is one of those things. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but I am gonna say I'm more than blessed and thankful to be here because there was many times that I took life for granted and just thinking that I was gonna be all right and tomorrow was promised. Like God has brought me through some situations, boy. Like hard headed too, yes, hard headed. But my grandma got this saying, God only take care of fools and babies. So I believe I'm one of the two, if not both. Really thankful for my family, hardworking parents. I mean, hustle like no other. Like, and then now that I'm older now and growing every day, the level of respect grows every time I encounter an adult situation. No matter how big, how small, and it's like damn, like my parents did this with a smile and they had me. So the weight, like I can speak on different situations on where I was at and where I am now, but I mean it's just really being thankful because and when things don't go my way, I get frustrated because it's that weight, that spiritual weight on you. Like it's up
Right.
to you to bring this home. It's up to you to bring it back. Like my father, my mother, aunts, uncles, everybody in my family, brothers, they've all stepped in spots where I literally could have just fell. And God put that person in my life to like just hold me up. They ain't pick me up, they just held me up. So I was able to get back up. And it was a lesson to be learned and everything. So I've been trying to do better with just treating people right. But most importantly, I owe it to myself. I owe it to the younger Jaden. I owe it to him because he had dreams and still do. But I gotta learn to also trust the process. There's a lot of things and situations that could have went one way and they ended up turning out for my good. So more than blessed, more than thankful. And just I'm here for the ride. It's not too much more to say because it's God doing it day in, day out.
Amen.
Been a church boy from since I was little, since I can remember. And the older I got, I'm not gonna say I grew out of it, but I tried to find my own way. You know, I tried to experience life not without God, but just out of the church setting. And me being young, it's funny how, although I wasn't really paying attention when you a kid, but it's still in your head. So one of the most important things I say in my daily prayer is, I thank God that I'm still in my right mind. Because in today's world,
Yes.
it's so easy to get caught up in what somebody doing and what you think is right from what you see, and that's not the case. If you don't got a connection with God, you in trouble
Big trouble.
because you it's so easy to get consumed and overwhelmed with peer pressure and caught up in what somebody else is doing and thinking the grass is greener on the other side, and it's not. And kind of to touch on what you were saying about seeing everybody else like doing well and stuff like that, I had to learn for myself to trust the process because there's a reason why everybody gets what they supposed to get at their own time, and that's because they've been doing God's will. Not to say you haven't, but yours could be different.
Right.
Absolutely.
You might get yours later on. They probably had to get theirs sooner to understand another part of life. Like it's just so I had to do better myself with not watching the next man.
Right.
I can't bet my life on your success. We two different people. God gave us two different plans and two different purposes. And they could be the same. Who knows? It's just you gotta focus on you. He made you for a reason, and just taking it one day at a time too, not trying to rush it. I was talking to bro about it the other day. Um, I do believe in I do believe in setting goals, but I don't believe so much in making a plan. Because when you make a plan, you basically cutting out everybody that can help or not help that plan. So I try to make a goal and let God work with that. Because if I make a plan, what if it's the complete opposite of what He got for me? Nah, I just missed out on my whole blessing.
Right.
So that's just how I try to go through life now, being older and being a young black man. I mean, I gotta be connected. I gotta be like this with God, because I'm even blessed to be here. This is technically second, third, fourth. I don't know how many chances He done gave me to still be here. There's a lot of my boys I grew up with, friends, and the ones who I thought would be here is not here, living. I'm not even talking about here, just living. Like, it's a little too real, because it's like, I went to school with such and such. Like, I remember talking to him. I remember running around with this dude, and he no longer here. Like, it get real. So, yeah, man, you got to be thankful with who's all around you. Be thankful for your family. Don't rush it, because it ain't what it's all cracked up to be.
And don't be thankful for the wrong reasons. Don't be thankful for the wrong
That
reasons.
was good. That was good. Trust the process, man, for real. A little quick story, but so when I joined the military, it was during COVID. Right before it really smacked the world. So this was like February 2020 is when I first came in. And after basic training, we couldn't go straight to AIT. So I had to go to something that was called holdover, and it was in a separate place from where we trained at, but we were still treated as though we were in training. We couldn't have our phones and stuff like that. And that time was extremely hard for me because I thought I'd be getting out of there in maybe a week or two. It ended up being like 4, like almost 5. And I tell everybody that's the closest thing I ever get to being in prison. I don't care. It is. We had nothing to do.
24-hour lockdown, huh?
It was we had nothing to do. We literally made chessboards out of cardboard pieces. This one dude, he got real creative with it. He made like the pieces like stand up. He made like a little horsey. It was yeah. It was nothing to do. Nothing to do at all. We got to go outside for maybe like an hour or two a day, and then we had to go back up to the bay. And during that time, that was really hard for me
That's
because
basura, bro.
I know that was really hard for me because I was like, I hated my life. I was like, what did I just do? So many times, like I'm sitting here, and I used to go and sit in the laundry room, just staring at the window. We would just sitting there for hours and talk. And every week, a list would come out, and people would get released to go. And we would go downstairs. You hoping your name get called, and then it don't. So then after it don't, right back upstairs, and then after weeks of that, it gets real discouraging. And I remember sitting here like, God, like why? Like this is. I said to myself, I was like, this is the worst decision I ever made in my life. Like. And I'm gonna get back around to the point to trust the process, but I was like, this is the worst decision I ever made in my life. Like I made the decision because I prayed about it and I felt God was leading me to that, and I was like, man, this is the worst thing ever. I barely got to have my phone. All we did was get in trouble. We got smoked all the time. I remember one time they smoked us so bad. We had just showered and then we came back from downstairs, and we got smoked in the mud for hours. So much so to the point where I almost I was throwing myself down to do the burpees and the push ups because I was just so tired. I ended up hurting my wrist from that, but it's healed now. But I remember sitting there like I hate this so much. I literally I hate my life. I was sitting there and I would look out the window and I would just contemplate. And it was the first time in my life where I was like, man, I don't want to be here. Like, and I wasn't talking about that building. Um, Only thing I had, shout out to my mom, when I was in training, you could send mail, and my mom sent me a package. I didn't ask for it, but she sent me my Bible, and I thought to myself, I was like I was like I didn't ask her to send it. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I just kept it with me the whole time, and it was the Bible that she had given me when I was real little. I was like 11 years old, and she always had it, always had it. She sent it to me, but it didn't come into play until while I was in holdover. Because while I was in holdover, I had nothing to do. So, and I began to become extremely discouraged. And I can honestly say the only thing I did do was read, and I ended up reading the whole book of John, for the first time ever in my life, and I would get on my knees at night and pray and read my Bible, pray and read my Bible, and it carried me through the days. It carried me through the weeks until I finally was let out of there, and then I went through AIT, and then I went to my unit. But I realize now that even though I had to go through all that, and there's a lot of other stories, but even though I had to go through all that, I would not be where I am today. I would not think how I think. I would not have the money I have in my pocket. I would not have any of the stuff I have mentally, spiritually. I would not have met the amazing people that I've met, you know, if I didn't go through that when I went through it. I went at the right time. I went, even though it felt like the worst time, because of the stuff I had to go through, even though it felt like the worst time, it was the right time. That's when God wanted me to go because he needed me to go through that stuff. And it was all a process. It made me a level of grateful that I thought I could never get to. And I look back at myself before when I was 18, 19, I'm like, man, I was so ungrateful. Like I do anything for my mama, whatever she want. Like she can get every dime in my pocket if she wanted. Like she always been there, and I think back, I'm like, man, I was so ungrateful. After going through that, from not going to bed when I didn't want to, being told when to go to bed, being told what I'm gonna eat, not being able to eat what I want, go to bed when I want, do what I want, be where I want, getting smoked, over and over again, getting so mad because I'm sitting here trying to go to sleep and we're trying to count and somebody keeps messing it up and I'm sitting here doing push-ups thinking why? Like why? Like I hate this so much. When I came back here, I was like, man, like I was just so grateful. I hopped in my bed. I went and got me something to eat. And I decided what I wanted to eat. I had money in my pocket. Like, it just makes me think man, I'm so glad that I trusted the process and I stayed with God all throughout that because it was all just a process. It was and if I had to go back and change it, I wouldn't change a thing. I would make myself go through that a million times over because like you you can't put a price on that. Like I was telling somebody the other day, literally just a couple days ago, I said these young people, they out here and they think they're successful because they got the money, or they think they successful because they got this or they got that, but they got all that without the character. So now they're acting the same way, or they're going to end up losing either their life, friends, family, or even the stuff that they have because they lack the character. So when I pray, I ask God, Lord, as long as it needs to take, your will over my will, because I want the character, to be able to maintain whatever he's going to give me before I have it. So to really trust that process, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter where you have to go, what you have to do. It doesn't matter what type of pain that you have to endure, and you will have to endure some pain. The fact of the matter is that it's not in vain. That's the difference. And a lot of people, they don't understand, why we walk this walk with God, but we can go through the same thing. Like that experience that I told you, we could have went through the same thing. The experience you told me, we could have went through the same thing, except I'm walking with God. So if I'm walking with God, all the pain that I'm going through, there's a turnaround. It's not in vain.
Amen.
It's none of it is in vain. So at the end of the day, really, really trust that process. Like, don't look at what everybody else is doing, and even with me saying that, I still have to tell myself that on a daily basis. I'm not perfect whatsoever. Just because I'm saying that doesn't mean, oh, well, I don't look at what people say anymore. I do, and I have to go back around and correct myself and say, all right, look, Caleb, not this is not what God has for you. Like, this is not the path that you need to go down. Because like you said, you said something that was really good. You said that somebody might get it earlier because they have to learn something by having it.
Right.
I don't want that to be me. I don't want to get it and then lose it
Okay.
because
Right.
I had to learn a lesson. I would rather fight and get there, and when I get it, retain it.
Retain it.
So, yeah, man, really trust trust the process. Matter of fact, the episode is gonna be named "Trust the Process." That's the theme for today. I'm really grateful for everything I have, and all the people I'm in contact with. I mean, look at these two individuals, man, are amazing people. Like, I just met him today.
Appreciate that.
I know
Yeah, for sure, man.
I know
Same to
he's
you,
an
bro.
amazing person because he's an amazing person. That's the thing. That's the beauty of having good friends that are true, friends that are golden, because I don't have to think about who he is. I don't have to think about how he is. I know him. I know who he hangs around. I know what type of person he is, and his reputation speaks for itself. I know that Dylan will not associate with, or Dylan has parameters, and because he has parameters, I can also co-sign on whatever it is that he is doing, whoever he brings around, and lo and behold, he brings around this godly man right here, and I can already I feel it. Like,
It's real.
he's
It's
he
real. It's real.
real individual. Like,
Right.
just from what you were saying, like,
Absolutely.
I can tell, like, man, like, this dude, he got some wisdom in him, for
Right.
real. So, like,
It's came through experiences though. So
yeah,
you do gotta fall. You do gotta go through something to understand the meaning behind it. And I get so much motivation from my inner circle. I mean, the day to day is a battle within itself. It's I don't take none of this lightly because every day when we on the way to our career, we always see somebody, out there holding a sign, and or you might see somebody in a wheelchair at the bus stop, and it's like, bro, every time you about to complain about something little, like, hush. It ain't nothing compared to what it could be. I remember being in a room and I was speaking with somebody, and they said, if you was to drop all your problems on the ground and everybody dropped theirs, and you go to pick it up, you have something different, and it make you appreciate what you do have. And when you got it so good, you really miss the blessing in everything. Everything is a lesson. Everything is meant for your better good. And I can't try to be a better MJ if I don't want it internally. Like the only reason I really feel God connected me and Dylan was because he knew that where he had destined for him, he couldn't have nobody draw him away. But I also needed somebody as well to help push and help keep that vision like, no, you owe it. Not only do you owe this to yourself, you owe this to everybody who done poured into you. And it's good because now it's like, it's iron sharpening iron. Because I'm going to hold him accountable. He's going to hold me accountable. It's like you can't lose.
Amen.
But I didn't choose. The funny thing is, I didn't choose who I was going to fight the battle with. God already was like, all right, I'm gonna let them go ahead. They ain't even know they about to meet each other.
Yep.
God was like, watch this. And it's just, it's not funny because it's real, but it's ironic that it's like this is what he had for me. And then, when he bring me around his people, it's love. Like, I'm glad that while I'm young, I'm learning to adapt to rooms, to people, and it's not even in no way of trying to be somebody you're not. It's actually a life skill, like, because there's going to be times where you may feel uncomfortable, but you shouldn't feel uncomfortable because you should treat everybody the same, regardless of what you look like, where you come from. We all made from one creator. That's why y'all really my brothers. Different mothers, same father.
Same father.
For real.
Amen.
So I'm thankful to be here. I'm gonna stay right here. Never get here, cause when you get here and something happen, it's like it'll.
That fall
It's
is
like
a lot higher.
it's a gut
a lot
punch.
harder.
It's a lot harder. So stay humble, stay here. Even when it's something good, just know it's a blessing from God, cause the devil is always plotting. He's always plotting. So I try to make sure that I really pray every day and make sure I hold myself accountable. It's easy to tell somebody you doing something, but only you and God know if you really doing it behind closed doors
Right.
at the end of the day.
Fact.
So if you true to yourself, you ain't got nothing to worry about, because I know I'm not gonna say I can't, but I know I won't bring him down because I'm too busy working hard on myself that it's gonna rub off. Like, oh yeah, he building himself too. I feel it, and then vice versa. I'm gonna have my days where I'm feeling low or I need that extra kick. God got a soldier next to me. Come on, get out your head. This and this and that. Like it's time to go. It's time to go, and I'm super thankful to be part of AFD. Shout out to the crew, Tiff, Kels, Coach, Alex,
Yeah.
Jamon, everybody, man.
In fact.
And I hooped, so I know what it's like to be a team leader. I know what it's like to be a role player. Like, it's dope to be around a team and people in an environment that is actually striving for the same goal. You'll be surprised. There's a lot of really good teams that don't click. They just got a lot of great talent, great players. That don't mean it's a great team though.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's different when everybody playing a role and clicking like it's something special. So yeah,
One thing that really came on my heart when you were saying that, and when both of y'all were saying that, and that's really tied into it and really connected, and that's how I know it's official. So I'm gonna give y'all something that's really gonna crack your noggin though. What year is it? It's 2023, right?
Yeah.
100 years ago, what was 1923?
Yeah.
That was the Roaring Twenties. They do say history repeats itself, correct? So we're that generation that gets to be born in the Roaring 2020s.
Absolutely.
And when all y'all were saying what you were saying, it was like, we're blessed to be with each other, we're blessed to be together. But gentlemen, we got a war we're fighting. You said something that pertains towards fighting war terminology in the sense of soldiers, brothers. You both use the same terminology.
Yeah.
And that goes to show we're really in a battle right now. Right? Spiritual warfare. But spiritual becomes physical when you allow the spiritual to overcome the host. And what you have to understand is like, God didn't bring us together for no reason. We meant to go out here and be an impact in this generation. You know, you say team, I think the young people, and it turns me up. And that's one of the reasons why we got to go harder.
Yeah.
Even when we think we're going hard, there's still much more we got to go. Why? Because it's the same way like you could be fighting a battle and we don't even know about it. But because you're so strong, you don't say anything.
Yeah.
But say we do something or somebody does something or say something happens and we're able to inspire you. That helps you fight the silent battle. The silent battle. Those are the ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's something you not saying something, you not saying something. Whether I serve it on a hot plate and say, hey, let me know I'm here for you. You're not gonna let me get it. And we all fight that because we're all trying to prove something to ourselves. And we gotta understand that the more you spread light in a dark world, the light gets brighter. When the light shines the brightest, it's not when there's more light. It's when it's in its darkest. So we are meant not to just shine within ourselves, but to shine all over.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, after you go, I heard Steve Harvey say something the other day. He said, on your tombstone, you have your birth date and your death date. And your life is that dash in between. That dash in between can mean one or two things. And it all boils down to this. Either you're good or you're bad.
Yeah.
What did you fight for? What did you stand for? Everybody in here is fighting for something. Everybody watching, you fighting for something going on. Like, we're all battling. But at the end of the day, I feel like we got to look at what is needed. What does God need us to be the most? And that's leaders. Martin Luther King, he fought for all our rights. Why aren't we talking about stuff like that anymore? Why isn't standing for good and standing for what's right what's most important or most popular? That's because the world in nowadays and age, all they want is chaos and destruction.
Yep.
Because that's what's more attentive to the eye. Ooh, drama, look what happened over there. Ooh, look at that. Oh, he got into an accident. He's stupid. You know, it's so quick to look at evil or look at destruction or look at chaos and say something about it. But it's harder to say how you can fix it. You know, and that all boils down to who you are, and that all ties into, like, stand up. Like, if I had to say anything that y'all caught, anybody catch from this, rise. Rise. When you go on to with your life later, rise. When we not together and you fighting something, rise. You know, if God forbid these be my last words, rise. Rise. Rise, man. We rise. We got to rise in this world. God using this video to bring all the leaders. If you felt like you was different and you know you do good in this world, keep rising. Keep fighting. Keep battling. Because nobody going to do that but you or me. And you know what? That puts bigger targets on our back. But you know what? We say, who cares? Come at me.
Yeah.
Come at me. I dare you.
Yeah.
I dare you. Because I'm still going to keep loving. I'm still going to keep shining. And God's still going to keep providing. Luke 137, I feel like that's a scripture that God puts at license plates, billboard signs, even in time, that I pick up the most. Luke 137, that number, he puts that 137. And that's that connection that I have with God. God speaks with everybody in many different ways.
Yeah.
And as for with God, nothing shall be impossible.
What's up, guys? First off, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. I apologize for the ending being like that. I didn't realize that my camera had died like right there at the end, but luckily I was able to get 90% of the video, really like 95% of the video. It only cut off about maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but either way, I appreciate you for sticking through this long. I will be linking MJ's and Dylan's social medias. I have his right here. Dylan's right here. Make sure you guys go check them out at AFD. Their furniture is out of this world, like legitimately. I'll also be linking their social media to the page where you can go and look at the furniture and stuff like that. But it really is premium stuff. Make sure you guys go up there and support my guys if you're in the area. But once again, I appreciate you guys, and I'm your host, Friday, aka 1K, aka the Visionary, and we out, bruh.